There we go. All right, YouTube's up. Whoa. Oh shit, really? Nice. Yeah, I think this league is gonna be really good. I think a lot of people are gonna come back. Fucked around with my microphone settings too. Hopefully it sounds better. My microphone settings must have been really screwed up over the last like month that I haven't been streaming. Like easier to hear me. Oh yeah.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Rogers from Grinding Gear Games, and today we're here to showcase a new expansion for POE 1. It's certainly been too long since we had one of these. Now we had some struggles as a studio for a little while there. We've got our shit together and we're back in action now. Path of Exile Secrets of the Atlas is coming out 1 week from now on the 13th of June, and we're committing right now to a 4-month cycle for both POE 1 and 2. That means the next POE 2 League will be in August, and the next POE 1 League after that will be in October. Push
Nice.
drops are enabled on today's livestream, so you'll be able to claim your Skull of Undeath helmet skin by following the instructions below. This Skull of Undeath will track and show your total number of kills, deaths, and your KDR. Just because Path of Exile isn't a first-person shooter doesn't mean this isn't important. Proudly or shamefully, link it to your friends.
That's a pretty cool skull. And yes, drop should be on my channel.
With that, let's get to why you're here. Secrets of the Atlas.
You can search 1,000 worlds and still never truly discover who you are. Trust me. I should know. But now, I seek something more tangible.
That's true.
Someone I care for. Trapped within the Atlas. Reliving memories.
So you gotta save her? That saves you.
Made grotesque. Made foul.
It's got a Bioshock Infinite feel.
These manifestations must be destroyed. Their threads must be eradicated. I must have answers. We must find the originator. We must save my sister.
New in-game mechanics, new pinnacle bosses, crafting mechanics. Oh my god, King's March is going core. Oh my god, King's March went core and it's a completed one. Holy shit.
You're either a client or a target.
Target inside.
Mercenaries of Truth, so that's it. Oh, like literal mercenaries, like Diablo style. You can give them equipment and shit. Oh shit.
Your
Oh
sanity is
man.
not promised to you here.
They're putting in mercenaries. That's crazy.
Hi.
Two
I'm Mark
characters I
Ross,
got a gear.
Game director on Path of Exile. As you just saw from the trailer, there's a lot to show you. Today, we will take you on a deep dive into the new Path of Exile
right. Get 'em up.
Secrets of the Atlas in-game update.
Get him out of
Then,
Mage Blood.
we'll explore the new challenge league, the Mercenaries of Trathus. After that, we'll cover the integration of gold into POE 1 and how we're bringing Settlers of Kalgur into the core game. Finally, we have a much-awaited upgrade to Betrayal League and a set of quality of life improvements. Then, we'll wrap up by discussing our Boss Kill race event, showing you our new supporter packs, and ending with a live Q&A session where Ziggy D will ask Jonathan and I your questions from Twitch chat. In Path of Exile Secrets of the Atlas, strange rifts have begun to appear across the Atlas. Zana has returned and appears to be trapped within.
Across the
Partway through
Atlas, I mean, it's not during the
you will meet
campaign.
Egan, an intelligent man of mysterious heritage. These tears in reality he has discovered are actually threads of memory, distorted and made real by the Atlas. Egan is able to create a link to these memory threads and open portals to them. Working with Egan, you must step through and find Zana, or whatever remains of her.
Kid Zana.
Okay, so that's the story background, but how does this expansion actually work? In the Secrets of the Atlas, the pursuit of Zana with Egon is a new storyline that is introduced in high-tier maps. Upon meeting Egan and discovering the tier, he will then transfer it to your map device
Wow, no league
and
mechanic
reveal
during the
this on
campaign.
your atlas, a thread of memories. In order to now access each map on the thread, you simply need to talk to Egan when you're ready, and he'll open the areas in sequence.
Oh, okay, good.
These areas
I was like,
can
do
be
we seriously
fully
have to fucking
influenced by
find
your
each
atlas
map?
tree, scarabs, fragments, and everything of the sort.
Nice.
As you work your way along the thread, you will discover that these maps have manifested dangerous threats, influenced by the memories of Zana herself.
Do they get buffs to drops?
Monsters here are imbued with memory petals. Defeat them to absorb this power, which can be unleashed as a special ability during combat. Different maps on the thread have different abilities, and these abilities appear on an additional mini skill
Superheroes
bar
cause fitness
next to
revive.
regular skills. For example, Memory of Disbelief will cause all affected monsters to stop dropping equipment items, meaning they can now only drop more valuable items.
Oh,
like currency and
shit.
maps. Memory
Yo,
of Panic will
that's
make
sick.
all affected monsters revive immediately after death, which means
So you
you
can kill
can
them
get
again?
twice as much experience and drops from them. And Memory of
Yes.
Impatience will cause all surrounding enemies to give you their souls, temporarily increasing your power.
Oh, nice.
As
Get
you progress further
head
into
under
the
effect.
thread of memories, the maps can have more than one memory, and thus you can have more than one powerful ability. As you gather memory petals, you can use these powers together. Each skill costs its own amount of memory petals. So using the examples above, you can first use Memory of Impatience to become way more powerful, then use Memory of Panic to prepare them to revive when they are slain, then use Memory of Disbelief to cause them to drop better, more valuable items.
Fuck
Finally,
yeah.
obliterate them all. The Memory of Panic will kick in, causing them to revive.
Oh my
And
god,
then
big
wipe them out
pops.
again, allowing you
Big
to get
pops.
all the
Let's go.
experience and
Look at all those
enhanced
chaos
drops once.
orbs.
There are many combinations of these powers, so you'll have to carefully
Oh my god,
consider how
chaos
they
orbs are gonna be
best work
fucking
together.
worthless this league.
That's not the only extra layer of content juicing these maps offer. As you defeat the boss of each map along the thread, you are presented with an altar. This altar will apply a modifier to all following maps in the thread, and these will stack as you go.
Oh, that's
So the deeper you delve
cool.
into a memory, the more mods you will have. This, combined with the special abilities, will allow for some of the most juice maps ever run in Path of Exile. Let's take a look at some of the altar mods. You are always presented with two choices and must pick one. This mod, for example, will cause some rare monsters to be possessed by tormented spirits, where this mod makes Kerak modifiers free to craft. Both of these apply to all subsequent maps in the thread. The final map in each thread is a true challenge, with all the altar mods applying to it and guarded by a powerful boss. Each of these bosses are familiar, but dreamlike, drawn from Zana's memories and warped by the Atlas into something very different and terrifying. In this map, you will fight the pinnacle boss, Cirrus. Fueled by Zana's affectionate memories
more
of him,
Cirrus.
his enhanced abilities can prove to be a unique challenge. If you manage to defeat Cirrus, or one of the other warped memory bosses, they will drop a map fragment, which Egan can use to delve deeper into the memory tears. With these, you can access a set of 3 new pinnacle bosses.
Oh shit.
In this arena, the Moment of Reverence, Zana is reliving a memory of her father, Valdo, giving a passionate speech in Oriath. The Atlas distorts this memory of her father as a powerful, influential man and manifests those emotions into a twisted nightmare, the incarnation of dread. Another memory created is the incarnation of neglect and the incarnation of fear. Good luck, exiles. Of course, if you are brave and strong enough to defeat them, each of these new pinnacle bosses have new unique items befitting them.
Let your circlet.
If you slay the incarnation of fear,
Trigger star fall and melee
you
critical
might be
strike.
lucky enough to find the Star Caller unique abyssal axe. We're
Extra
going to show
damage from
this
random
one
element.
because it's straight up badass. The Starcaller axe is a weapon that can harness the power of the stars themselves to deal immense damage. What makes it shine, however, is that on melee crit, it casts Starfall, a new skill. With the right build,
That
you
looks
can carpet entire areas
sick.
and wipe out screens of enemies as you rain down the elements upon them.
How rare is it?
Another item you may find, and this one is my favorite, is the Wine of the Prophet unique flask. It consumes a lot of
Ram
charges,
div buff, 20
but
seconds to
every
use, that's
time
pretty
you
cool.
use it, you draw a random divination card. This card appears above you and correlates to a powerful buff. If you draw the Escape card, you'll gain increased movement speed. Or maybe you'll draw the Doctor, which will cause you to gain the modifiers of slain rares you kill. Effectively, you can think of this unique as being many other uniques all in one. There are many cards to draw, each with varying degrees of power to grant. Okay, but let's get back to the Atlas. After defeating all 3 new pinnacle bosses, you'll be able to find new memory-influenced Tier 16 maps. These
cool.
maps come with the previously mentioned special abilities and monsters infused with memory pedals, but can also roll the same modifiers typically found on Tier 17 maps, making them far more rewarding.
Yeah.
With all these new memory maps comes
No
a
more
new
having to run
item
17s
mechanic.
for those mods.
Items in these maps can drop with memory strands, and will have a random amount up to 100. This does a few things.
Up to
When you
100.
identify the item, it will increase the tiers of modifiers your item has. Generally
Oh,
speaking,
as you run memory
the more
strands, it
memory
levels up the
strands,
item.
the better the item will be. On top of this, whenever you're crafting that item using currency orbs to replace or add modifiers, such as alterations, chaos, and so forth, it will consume some memory strands to make the crafted mods more powerful. The new pinnacle bosses also drop new crafting currencies, which can be used to manipulate the amount of memory strands on an item. The Orb of Remembrance will let you add memory strands to any normal equipment. So if you have your perfect base to craft on, and it doesn't already have memory strands, you can add some before crafting it. The Orb of Unraveling will consume all remaining memory strands on an item to randomly upgrade its mod tiers. This orb's effectiveness is based on the number of memory strands it consumes. The Orb of Intention can be used on memory influence maps to reduce item drops, but improve the chance to find items with memory strands. In the process of adding these new currency items, we realized something was missing. The Shaper and the Elder did not have their own Exalted Orbs. This has now been rectified. Both bosses now have Exalted Orbs, which can add their influence to an item. Zana was there from the beginning, when the Shaper Pinnacle fight was first added. She helped defeat the Elder, and she was a critical part of the Conqueror's storyline.
Yeah, we already
Now,
covered
with
that
all
with those
6
ones.
influence types having their own Exalted Orbs, the cycle is complete. It's almost as if we could now do some sort of new, epic, unique item to interact with them. In other news, there of course has to be Atlas passive tree support for this new endgame content. Let's take a look at a few things we're adding. The Grasp the Past notable passive skill increases the chance for the amount of memory strands on items dropped in your memory influence maps to be lucky. This means it will roll the number of memory strands twice, keeping the highest value.
Oh, that's
By
dope.
allocating traumatic experience, remembered kindness, or educated upbringing, you'll decrease the chance of finding memory threads that lead to specific bosses, meaning you'll have better chances at finding the memory threads you would like to run.
Nice.
This is especially useful if you want to target farm a specific boss because of its unique item drops. In sum, the secrets of the Atlas will have you questioning what is real as you attempt to free Zana from warped memories scattered throughout the Atlas. You'll fight new Guardian and Pinnacle bosses tormenting her, find crazy new Pinnacle uniques, combine and unleash memory petal empowered skills, juice maps to new heights, and craft powerful new items. While we were showing all the juicy rewards from the new endgame system, you might have noticed that a lot of gold was dropping. Let's talk about that. Gold
kept
was
gold.
introduced during the Settlers of Kalgur expansion.
And that's
Funded
it.
the development and operations of King's March, along with various new features such as the currency exchange, the black market, and the passive respec system with Faustus.
We're keeping all
Those
of it.
features offered by Faustus will be here to stay, along with some of the other services King's March has to offer. We'll get more into that later, but don't worry, King's March has already been completed. There will be no more town building. Like before, gold will be used for town services, but we're also adding a new way to use it in the upcoming league. It's time to talk about Mercenaries of Trathus. In this league, you will meet veterans who have travelled all the way from the lawless cities of Trathus. They're ready to offer their sinister services, but not for free.
But they can die and you need gold to revive them?
As you journey through Rayclast, one in each area. They have their own personalities and come with different builds, skills,
Oh, I want
and
that one.
items already equipped.
I want that
After
outfit.
meeting them, as per the Trathan code, they will challenge you to a duel, a test of strength and conviction. Before beginning the duel, you will be offered an overview of the mercenary you've encountered. Here, you can see the gear they have equipped, the skills they employ, and any support effects augmenting those skills. You must now make a choice. You can hire their services, take one of their items, or exile them. If you choose to hire them, for a gold cost, they will accompany you as a skilled combatant to assist you in fighting monsters throughout Rayclast. Once you've decided, you can begin the duel. This is a great opportunity to test them, as you don't want to be out of pocket with a useless rookie. However, they're testing you too. They also don't want to be working for an amateur. So, what items might they be using? Generally speaking, mercenary gear is more powerful than what you'd normally find from defeating monsters, as they've been crafting their items too. They
Sick.
can also come equipped with unique items, those that would make sense for the skills they are using. There are even some new unique items that can only be obtained from defeating them.
Wow.
One such unique is Scornflux. These boots combine agility with the mastery of the arcane. While equipped,
Increase the cast speed, market search also
from
plays the
arcane
movement
surge
speed?
Also apply to movement speed. Which is worth
Damn.
noting is now 20% inherently from arcane surge, up from 10.
Nice.
They also grant arcane surge when you use a movement skill.
Yeah,
This
that's
allows
sick.
for some speedy spellcasters. Sometimes you may meet particularly infamous Trathan mercenaries, bearing the name of their house. These mercenaries descend from the 4 major death trade families in Trathus. They are less common, but have far better items. And they are also the sole source of items with new, infamous modifiers, unseen before in Rayclast.
Infamous
Such as these
modifiers?
gloves, which convert all of your minions' fire damage to chaos damage.
Oh shit.
Or this helmet, which causes nearby enemies to take more physical damage as you gain more fortification.
Oh, that one's cool.
If you're not swayed by any of their equipped gear, however, you can always challenge them for the contents of their pockets.
Yeah, that's a lot.
If you lose the duel, don't worry. You don't need to give them an item. You aren't bound to Trathan tradition like they are. However, you are bound to Rayclast tradition, so you'll just die.
Almost at me. Well, not really.
While playing in a party, each player can decide whether or not they want to participate in combat against the mercenary. For each player that opts in, the mercenary gets more difficult. But if they're defeated, each player has a 50% chance to get a random reward, which is usually currency items from the mercenary's pouch. Alternatively, party members that opt out of the fight can spectate and cheer you on. Or they might wish for your demise, so they can pick up that allocated divine waiting off screen.
Dead. Good.
Let's say you won the duel, like their items, and have decided to hire them. What combat skills do they bring to the table? Each mercenary has an archetype. Here, this mercenary is an Eruptor, which perfectly couples with my slower, more aura-focused Scion. This mercenary is highly aggressive, and will get a lot of benefit from the auras and buffs I provided. When I'm playing a more aggressive character myself though, I'll want a mercenary with a bit more resilience and utility. I've just run into a Striker, who can spawn with Vigilant Strike. And if you're lucky, a very rare golden support that causes the Fortify granted by his Vigilant Strike to apply to me as well.
Oh shit. Yeah.
You'll also frequently use Enduring
This is a
Front,
lot.
taunting enemies off of me, and operating as a tanky frontline while I blitz off damage from the back.
This is a lot to take in.
Sometimes when you fight a mercenary, you may notice the skills they're using are different from normal. For example, this sniper is using a Trathan version of Siege Ballista. If you're lucky, you will be able to select that as your reward when challenging them, then defeat them and they'll drop the Trathan gem as promised. You can only have one mercenary accompanying you at a time, but up to 3 total in your service. The other 2 will wait patiently in town. Having varied options is useful, as there may be situations where you need specific backup, like a difficult boss fight.
That's cool.
Any of your mercenaries you have active, or in your reserves, can have their equipment replaced with items of your choosing.
Oh my god.
They don't level up, so you will want to be looking out for more skilled and more powerful mercenaries as you advance through the campaign and endgame. If your mercenary
Fucking
falls
crazy.
in combat, you will need to return to town and spend some
And
gold
revive
on
them for
healing
gold.
supplies to get them
Yeah,
back on their
I
feet.
saw that one coming.
Then perhaps consider giving them some upgrades, if you think it's deserved. I just wanted to clarify, mercenaries do not lose their equipment when defeated.
Oh yeah, that'd be
If your
awful.
merc buddy consistently fails you, you can just dismiss them and find a new, more resilient ally.
You walk your path, I'll walk mine.
Earlier, I mentioned you could exile mercenaries. If you keep running into a mercenary archetype and you think, man, this guy stinks, their gear is trash and they have no auras, you can then choose to exile them. If you win the duel, they'll be forced to leave with their tail between their legs, and you won't encounter that archetype again for a while.
Nice.
Now, alongside these new Trathan arrivals, we shouldn't forget about the recent Kalgurin
Do we get
1's too.
shipments?
As we mentioned earlier,
And
the
the new-
Settlers update introduced gold-based respecking of passive points.
Okay, that's definitely
You can
staying.
now do so by talking to a number of NPCs throughout Rayclast, starting with Bestil and Lionized Watch. Black market item gambling, previously just available in Kingsmarch, is now available in each town at the same NPC.
Nice.
This lets you buy randomly generated item bases for gold. Very useful if you're stuck
Yeah,
for upgrades.
the black
or
market
searching
is
for a
incredibly
specific unit.
powerful.
The currency
leaks
exchange
are-
will be returning too.
Yeah, damn
Starting
straight it
from
fucking
Lione's
is.
Watch in Act 6, you'll be able to
Trying to
find
get a riot on your hands,
fasters who can
GGG,
help
if you didn't put
facilitate
this
these
in.
trades. Now, after almost a year of building, Johan is finally satisfied with the upgrades made to the town.
You mean all
And
6
now
times I
its
did
services
it?
can be used to their full effect. King's March is going core, but there will be no more town building. As you start running maps in the endgame, you'll start to find different ore veins, which Kalguran workers can mine for you. The shipping mechanic invites you to send these ores and crops to Karui and Kalguran ports, and they'll return rewards in kind.
Did they change how that
By
works?
sending shipments, you'll receive different items, but by sending to Karui ports, you will also receive tattoos, which can be used on your passive tree to change what stats they grant. The Kalguran ports will be sending back rune grafts, which is a new passive tree mechanic that replaces the runesmithing service previously offered by the town. These are similar to tattoos, but instead of replacing stat nodes, they replace a passive tree mastery node.
Oh shit! That is
For
sick!
example,
Let's go!
Runegraft of the Bound reduces bonuses gained from boots, but increases bonuses gained from gloves. Runegraft of the River has a chance to recover your life to full if you reach low life. And the Runegraft of Time, which has a chance for your cooldown skills to instantly recover from their cooldown.
Alright, none of those are that
Which I will
impactful
note
though.
Includes cooldowns
So
on your
maybe I
troops,
should wait to see them.
just in case
None of
you
those
wanted
were
to
that
trigger
great.
even more spells.
Because you can't stack them, so
There
the
are
limit
many
1
other
per.
Runegrafts, which cover a wide range of different
Increase
builds
damage
and
reach unlinked
stats.
socket, 2 weapon.
Some are more common, and others rarer.
Global
You can only
defenses.
use one of a given type at a time, but you can use them on any mastery on your passive tree, which can be particularly useful for off-class investment.
Ooh, Warcry speed
Lila
if you
has
have not
continued to
Warcried
make
recently.
modifications to the Recombinator. She
That's
has
decent.
developed a new method of recombination that you may recognize from Path of Exile 2. For those unfamiliar, this method allows you to decide which modifiers on the 2 input items you want to try merge together, and it has a success chance you can see. This method can result in the items being destroyed. However, it is a good option to use when trying to create items with fewer mods to use as crafting projects. Given the existing recombinating mechanic was very powerful for top-end crafting, we didn't want to remove it. We have kept it, and you can now choose to use it the old way or the new way.
Oh, nice.
By letting fate decide, it will combine the 2 items randomly. There is no risk of destroying either item, but it will be less predictable. As Settlers is now a core mechanic, we've also added Atlas passive tree support.
Oh
For
shit.
example, if you wanted to gather more Verisium ore, you could take this notable. Each ore has a similar node. Refiner's Bargain converts items dropped by possessed monsters into thaumaturgic dust, sulfite into random ores, and life force into random crops. We've also added a set of Kalguran scarabs, so you can add more ore deposits, increase the rarity of monsters that guard ore deposits to at least magic, or gather smelted bars from ore you mark instead of ores. To sum it all up, Kingsmarch is now a thriving town where you can employ a swath of workers to collect resources, refine ores, craft items, and run maps for you. Send shipments of resources in exchange for tattoos and rune grafts, using those to modify your passive tree to an extent never seen before.
Do we still get crops passively?
Following on from that,
Oh,
we've
no,
also
go
made
back. Do we still get
substantial
crops
rework to
passively?
Another important mechanic: betrayal. As a refresher, and to explain to new players, let's briefly explain what betrayal is. Betrayal is a mechanic introduced in Act 9 and tells the story of Jun Ortoy and her investigation of the Immortal Syndicate. This is a mysterious group of exiles who can seemingly come back from death. You must help Jun to uncover their leader, the Syndicate Mastermind. The Immortal Syndicate is organized into 4 divisions: transportation, fortification, research, and intervention. As you encounter the Immortal Syndicate members, you'll gain intelligence for each of these divisions to discover the location of their leaders, tracking them to their safe houses. Defeating the division leaders at their safe houses will reward you with intelligence on the Syndicate Mastermind. In your journey to track down the Syndicate leader, you'll manipulate the members of the Immortal Syndicate to change divisions.
Yeah, I still don't
form
understand how this
friendships and
mechanic works, and I
rivalries,
don't really care to learn.
and even banish them from the Syndicate for a time. Historically, after encountering and defeating the Syndicate Mastermind, the state of the Immortal Syndicate would reset, requiring you to start from the beginning of the investigation again. This has always been a difficult decision for players and can often feel bad. Do you fight the Mastermind for a chance at the special loot, or keep farming the safe houses that you've spent so long setting up? Well, in the Secrets of the Atlas expansion, we've split out the Mastermind to be completely separate from the core mechanic. The boss is now accessible through a new fragment that has a chance to drop from the safe house leaders at high levels. The Mastermind no longer resets the state of the Immortal Syndicate. You can now build your betrayal board to your liking, optimize it, do Mastermind fights, and reap the rewards without having to lose all your progress every time. The boss fight itself has also been improved, now with significantly fewer immunity phases and new rewards. By the way, if you're a new player to Path of Exile 1, don't worry about all this detail. This content is optional, and you can discover and engage with it at your own pace. The Mastermind still has a chance to drop a Veiled Orb, now renamed to Veiled Exalted Orb. Veiled Chaos Orbs are being re-added to other safe house leaders. In addition, the Mastermind now drops the new All Flame Embers. All Flame Embers are map fragments that replace monster packs and in-game maps with different types of special monsters. These packs have unusual properties, compositions, or rewards. For example, you might use the All Flame Ember of Kulamak, which replaces packs with Syndicate monsters and their leaders, who revive after the map boss has been slain. This might at first sound annoying due to backtracking, but these monsters when revived are far more intense and rewarding. It is our intention with All Flames to provide many different types that combine with other mechanics. Multiplying with your existing modifiers in new
put them in like scarabs, got it.
Another good example of this is the All Flame Ember of Propagation. When slain, special rare monsters added by this All Flame here will spread their modifiers to other rare monsters in the map.
So you could just keep stacking rare monsters.
Trying to create singular, very powerful, and very rewarding monsters.
Yeah.
Something akin to Mexacs, which are making a reinvented comeback with this update too.
There is so much juicing potential in this league, it's insane.
All Flame Ember of Resplendence, which adds monsters that drop no items. But when you slay them, you get buff stacks of increased quantity and rarity.
Oh my fucking god. This is gonna be Affliction League 2.0.
All Flame Embers can be placed in your map device like scarabs, and used in conjunction with scarabs to further customize your maps. We're looking forward to seeing which combinations players find to enhance their maps. Perhaps you'll use all scarabs, all flames, or maybe mix and match. It's up to you. The Mastermind's unique items have also been improved. The veiled modifiers generated on these items are now from a custom pool exclusive to those uniques. Bitterbind Point, for example, can now have various Spectre-specific outcomes.
Oh, that's sick. Good idea.
+1 additional Spectre.
That's a W.
Aside from improved rewards from the Mastermind, all the safe house rewards have also been rebalanced. We've done a pass on the crafting sprees at the end of many safe houses. For those who aren't aware how these crafting sprees work, well, it's simple. There's a crafting bench with an item in it and a bunch of currency. There's a limited amount of time, and your only objective is to craft the best item possible before the time ends. One of the problems that the crafting sprees have is that they often require you to have specific items on hand in order to best maximize your result. But how are you supposed to know that beforehand? In order to solve this, most of the crafting sprees now offer pre-generated items. This has also allowed us to add much more powerful crafting options in each spree. Let's take a look at a few examples. In this spree, a randomly generated amulet or ring.
Ooh, can I just have the currency? Is that a Mirror of Calandra? What is that?
Test your crafting skill or luck with
not
this
a Mirror of Calandra,
crafting spree.
A reflective mirror, or whatever it's called.
Create something worthy of Calandra's praise.
Yep. Flip it. Oh, that sucks.
And in this spree, you will find a pre-generated unique item and a new kind of orb that resembles a Val orb, but not quite the same.
Oh, you can keep valing it.
Corrupt an item once.
Oh, you can val multiple times.
Corrupted and re-corrupted.
Yo, can you imagine if we found like a Mage Blood or something in there?
This
You just
orb
kept
also
corrupting it
allows
up and
you to
up?
get 2 corrupted implicits, and has a much lower chance to brick the item. It can be a very useful tool for seeking specific corrupted implicit outcomes. Of course,
Wow.
if you push your luck, you can still ruin the item.
I wonder what the
There
percentage
are
is.
also crafting sprees where you still need to provide an item, but those items are generally more accessible and it occurs less frequently. This one allows you to bring your own normal rarity item, then just go ballistic with a whole ton of scouring orbs and orbs of chance, hoping to get your ideal unique. For most sprees, the rank of the syndicate member increases the amount of currency provided, the quality of the pre-generated items,
You missed so much,
and
dude.
the time allowed to craft your item. Aside from the crafting
Oh,
sprees,
you
there
left
are
at the
other
beginning
new
of Betrayal?
options too.
Not a ton, but they did change a bunch of
If
shit
you
about
love
how the
gambling for
rewards work.
currency,
And it
how
is
about
pretty
you
cool.
try opening
I probably
Varisi's
still won't do
Emperor's lucky
Betrayal, but...
chests? These work just like the
But there's a
Emperor's
way
Luck
you can
divination
double
card
corrupt
to
uniques
provide
that you
full stacks
get,
of
like,
currency.
with a bunch
If
of
you're lucky
corrupted orbs and
enough,
keep using
unlike
them.
me, you could end up with a whole lot of divines.
So you can get 2 corruptions on a Mage Blood
Betrayal
with a
is
less
good
chance
source
of bricking
failed
it.
items.
Something like
Failed
that.
items have some important quality of life improvements in this expansion too. All of the crafting bench options normally
Yeah,
granted by
you can keep
unveiling
corrupting
items
and adding more
are
corrupted, but I
instead
think it's
now
only
moved
up to
the
2
core
corrupted
game,
mods.
so you don't need to run Betrayal to unlock them. They are instead found at the entrances to boss rooms and in-game maps. On top of that,
Yeah, you
no
corrupt them,
longer
but
need to speak
less
to
of a
June
chance to brick
unveil
them.
items.
You
You
can
just
still
right-click them,
ruin it.
or the equivalent on gamepad, and
Oh, we know
select
these
which
2
failed
things?
modifier you want to unveil.
I'm already thinking in my head
Overall,
on a
Betrayal
farming
is now
strategy
much more streamlined and more rewarding.
to farm harvest
Happy
to get as many
interrogations.
crops as possible and dust with those Atlas passive trees and just constantly pumping out like 50,000
Now, before we
shipments
get into
or
our
100,000
quality of life
shipments
additions,
if you
let's
can still
quickly
use the
talk about
farm
some
and just be
character
getting
balance.
like
We will be
3
doing
to
our
4
regular
divine
character
orbs every
balance
like
changes where we are bringing
the half
outliers
hour,
in line to help
like
evolve
pretty
the meta,
easily
but we are also focusing our attention on buffing
while
some
you're like
specific
running
things.
maps.
This includes spellcasting supports that specifically enhance self-casting builds, channeled spells, adding new options to the Guardian, Berserker, Elementalist, Saboteur, and Champion Ascendancy classes, which
Elementalist?
include some favorites from some of the alternate classes from Legacy of Freesia, and
Ooh.
buffing a whole bunch of transfigured gems that never really hit the mark. Combined with the new endgame crafting, improved betrayal crafting options, rune graphs for your passive tree, new pinnacle unique items, new modifiers and Trathan gems from the mercenaries, and of course the mercenaries themselves to act as an extension to your character,
Yeah.
it's safe to say there's a lot of new character options and builds to think about. Instead of delving into all of these in more detail, we figured we'd just let you absorb them through the patch notes so you can do it at your own pace. In the Secrets of the Atlas expansion, we've also added a lot of the quality of life features that we know you've all been asking for. A lot of these have already been posted, but let's take a look now in case you missed any. You can now pause the game at any time by pressing escape to open the menu, or by opening any full screen interface, like the passive tree. You'll also be paused if any lag is detected or if you disconnect. It's worth noting that in certain Pinnacle arenas, a debuff will be applied to you that prevents you from pausing. We're also making a change to how you use currency items on strongboxes and monsters imprisoned in essences. Based on the currency in your inventory and the state of the strongbox, these buttons will appear. Valuable currency like divine orbs have been excluded from this as it would often be wasteful to use in this context. The same applies to essences with the remnant of corruption currency. Orbs of Horizon have been updated. They can now reroll your Elder and Conqueror Guardian maps. Doing so will reroll the base map and the Guardian
Yeah,
of
that's
Valor.
probably the best change is the rerolling the
The
Elders
map
maps.
device now has a small additional inventory. This is particularly
Oh yeah, I forgot about the little
useful if you're
side
rolling
inventory.
many maps to run in sequence, or if you want to use varying amounts of scarabs or other map fragments. During breach encounters, all the splinters will be automatically collected and dropped at the end of the breach. On gamepads, we have separated the targeting of monsters and non-monsters, so you are able to target them independently. This removes a bunch of frustration when you are trying to interact with objects in the world and monsters are nearby. You no longer have to kill all of them first. Vendor windows will now remember your
Yeah.
last search. This is remembered until you log out and is remembered on a per NPC basis. The amount of characters you can type in the search field has also been increased.
Oh, nice.
When using currency items, after right-clicking them, it will highlight all other items which that currency can be used on. There are many other quality of life improvements.
Whoa,
so
whoa,
keep
whoa,
an
whoa.
eye on the patch notes after
The
this
search
live stream
field
concludes.
character limit, if that applies to
Alongside
like
the launch of
inventory
Secrets of the Atlas,
or the
we are hosting
stash,
a competitive event
that means you
where
can
players will
regex a
race to
ton
be the
more
first to
shit.
kill the new
So
pinnacle
you can
bosses.
literally just keep re-rolling
The event will take place
maps
in the
and never
hardcore,
have to look.
solo self-found Mercenaries of Trathus League.
That's fucking
We have some
huge.
interesting prizes
That's
in store
fucking
for the
awesome.
winners.
Let's fucking go.
Keep an eye on the news in the lead up to launch for more details about how the event will work and what its prizes are. Next up, we're going to be talking about our new League supporter packs. Today, we're launching 2 new series of supporter packs, the Frisian Magistrate and Crypt Keeper packs. Each tier contains the pack's full face value in points, alongside several exclusive microtransactions. As always, the microtransactions in these packs are purely cosmetic and do not affect your character's power or progression in any way. The Frisian Magistrate series of supporter packs contains 6 exclusive microtransactions. The Frisian Magistrate character effect will bind your character in thorny vines and roses.
Yeah, that's kind of
You
lame.
can select which parts of the character you want to have covered. Either your
That's
entire
kinda
body,
cool.
your lower body, or your upper body. As you approach waypoints, it will emit leaves and golden petals towards it. When activating the waypoint, it will create a burst around you. Envelop your weapon in thorny vines and golden flora with the Frisian Magistrate weapon effect. Your weapon will also create a trail to match as you swing, and even comes with its own hit effect when slaying enemies. You are the law while wearing the armor of the powerful Frisian Grand Magistrate. The Spider Blossom pet activates its defense mechanism, disguising it as an elegant flower when near rare or unique enemies. The Frisian Imperial Magistrate back attachment comes in 2 forms. Equip either the Tombstone variant, which will leave tombstones in your honor when you meet your demise, or equip
Yeah, I
the
don't
Cape
like this
variant
one.
to cause the corpses of slain enemies to become enveloped in rose thorn vines and blossom with golden flowers. Keep track of how well, or poorly, your ultimatums with the Trial Master have gone with the Trials of Chaos hideout decoration. It will keep
Lame.
track of the total number of waves completed, the total number of ultimatums succeeded, or even failed. On top of that, it will track the total number of times you've defeated the Trial Master himself. The Crypt Keeper pack series also contains 6 exclusive microtransactions. With the Crypt Keeper finisher effect, death itself will tear through into the realm of the living and steal the soul of slain unique enemies. The Crypt Keeper portal effect creates a gateway for lost souls to pass through.
That's kind of cool.
Become the true master of the undead by wearing the hallowed Crypt Keeper armor set. It comes with a more armored helmet variant and a creepy mask.
I don't think this
with a
one's amazing.
spectral hood.
I'm not a big fan of skulls and shit,
Looking to have some
but
fun
this one's
during
definitely
idle
cooler
time
than the
in your
first one.
hideout? The Burrowing Bramble
Ah,
Bash hideout decoration
that's
will test
funny.
your reaction speed as you try to whack as many Devourer heads as possible
Whack-a-worm.
in the shortest time. It also comes with a scoreboard, so you can try to set new records to show off to your friends or just visitors coming to trade. Equip yourself
That's
with the
funny.
Ghostly Dead as you ride the line between
Yeah,
the
that-
living
you could
and the
gamble
dead
with that.
the Sacred Crypt Keeper back
A
attachment.
little bit.
The Sacred Archives map device resembles a magical library with the works of scholars that come to life when you open a map.
Okay, that's
This
dope.
map device
I like that a
tracks how
lot.
many of each core league you've completed in in-game maps.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
These packs are now available for purchase on both PC and console, and will remain so during Path of Exile Mercenaries of Trathus. Additionally, any microtransactions from these supporter packs will be made available for use in Path of Exile 2. Meanwhile, the Paladin and Penance packs leave the store forever at the launch of the Mercenaries of Trathus League, so now's your last chance to purchase them. Additionally, the Dawn of the Hunt mystery box will be made available for Path of Exile 1. If you have already unlocked any microtransactions from this box in Path of Exile 2, you will of course immediately have access to them in Path of Exile 1.
Nice.
Thank you so much for your ongoing support.
I didn't buy any, but
We're just about to
nice.
start the Q&A with Ziggy D. Afterwards, we'll post the full patch notes for Path of Exile, Secrets of the Atlas. With release at
Oh,
the
they
end
broke
of
it.
next week, our community team will be posting crucial information you'll need for the release. Keep an eye on the news.
Yeah, same.
Thanks for joining us today and checking out our latest developments. We're looking forward to dueling mercenaries, fighting new pinnacle bosses in the endgame, and exploring the new
It's definitely in there.
crafting systems and character builds next week. We'll begin the Q&A shortly. Please get your
132,000
questions ready.
viewers. I'm not gonna sit through the Ziggy D stuff. But man, this league is gonna be huge. There was so much shit and so much cool shit. The fucking mercenaries that you can add gear to, crazy. Fucking the town going core, the regex being easier.
I expect.
The juicing potential of everything, which is just fucking nuts. Fucking
Very
crazy.
large Q&A.
I can't wait.
All that we have to cover for.
And we'll be able to.
Secrets of the
I'll look
Outside,
at the
of
patch
course,
notes tonight,
joined
and I'll be
by
streaming
Jonathan and Mark. Welcome back.
this weekend and during the week. But I'll be streaming Hero Siege, but we can talk some.
Cheers. Thanks for being
We can talk some Path of Exile.
That's it.
But I'm gonna end it here because I got stuff I gotta do.
I
But
think pressure.
yeah, I'm fucking hyped. This was awesome. Yeah, I'll catch you guys this weekend. If I see cool shit in the patch notes later, I'll post it in Discord. I'll be in Discord. I'll make a note to get in there. Start chatting.
Sure. How did you guys feel going into this?
Alrighty,
and how
I'll
do
talk to you guys
feel like
later.
being able
See you
to
later,
deliver?
AJ.